If they wouldn't do it, they kill them and they bring in others. So it didn't matter, they had to do. So she didn't. So she did. Those three girls modeled in every day a little bit ammunition. You have no idea how they risked their life. And they gave it to Rosa Robota. In that Rosa Robota, when she went to her barracks, to that Bekleidungskammer, to work there for the day, she put it slowly down. She put it down right near the Sonderkommando, and they picked it up. When they say to, so don't, people shouldn't think that we didn't do anything, even those circumstances. We did something in Auschwitz. We cared, we helped out the humanity in that unhuman condition. We were still human and we tried to help whatever we could, everybody, one another, and risked our lives with it. In she put it down by the Sonderkommando. The Sonderkommando kept picking it up. And when they had enough ammunition, they dynamite the oven. They dynamite two ovens, so they couldn't. In the meantime, they couldn't guess the people, but they couldn't burn. This part I want you to hear. It's very important. In that day, when they couldn't burn, they came in a transport of 50,000 people from Hungary, from Romania and Hungary. And they took them together. And they're supposed to take them to the gas chambers, but they couldn't gas them. They couldn't burn them, so they couldn't gas them. I find this out from the historians after the war. Thousands of people, not all the 50,000 survived, but they sent them to a camp, to a working camp. So in that working camp, look, if you had a chance, you were strong enough, you had a chance, you were lucky, you survived. So, so we met people from that transport that survived. So that's people that did that dynamite or so, that the Sonderkommando dynamite, and those people that risked their life in smuggled in the ammunition. So this is the way those 50, we saved those 50,000 people from Romania, from Romania. So this is the way it was, this was the good part. But then this is the days in Auschwitz, so I told you. Then there was the one day they worked so hard on it until they find out who smuggled in the ammunition.
They found out.
Yeah, and who did it. Somehow they went through, I don't know, what's the Germans. This is what they did. When they wanted to do something, they did it. And they came to think in that, and we didn't go to work that day, and we didn't get no food that day. We were sitting in the snow. That's the way I remember when it was in the end of November. That's why I kept the yard-side for those three girls and for my friends, Rosa Robota. End of November. And the day I don't remember, but I know it was the end of November. And then when we thought we got scared, we saw those things to hang them in the helm, those three girls in that Rosa Robota. And Rosa Robota screamed out to me just before they pulled the what do you call it?
The string.
Not the string,
I know
the
knot.
The knot, like
the cord,
Yeah, the ropes.
The rope. That's what I wanted to say. The rope. She said, Frimet, vergess mich nicht. I shouldn't forget her. She called me Frimet because my name is Frimet, not Francis. They gave me that name here. I didn't pick it either.
Mhm.
You don't like it?
What?
You don't like it?
No, what's wrong with Frimet? But
It's good.
but they gave me that English name, just like Irwin. They gave us Irwin. We were Ivanovich. My
Oh.
husband's name was Ivanovich.
It's very Russian.
So they made it short.
Little
It should be
Polish.
easy.
Yeah.
They made it because my husband had family here,
Mhm.
so they didn't want to have different names than us.
Where is your husband from?
From Wlocławek, the border of Germany,
Mhm.
and this is the way. And this is the way it was. They hold them, and then this right after was January when we went out from the Death March.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the beginning of Germany of January, they called up the Untersturmführer came at the loudspeaker and said, "Whoever can walk, come to the gate." And when we came to the gate, the men's camp was there already, and they called up the Death March. In the Death March, we walked from Austria, from Poland to Austria. Then finally, they put us in cattle cars. They came to our cattle car, they couldn't close it. Look, when you have to live through, because nobody survived from that, they never unloaded them. They died in
Oh
those
my God.
vehicles because when the Americans came, they had that smell. It
Right.
was terrible. So the Germans, the Americans started to look and they find that the dead people in that thing. So, but look, when you have to live and God helps you, when mine is to live. So when they wanted to close our doors, they couldn't squeeze us in, they couldn't close the doors. So they took out 30 girls, and I was between those 30 girls. They took out 30 girls and then they closed the things and they never unloaded them. They let it stand there. They never took them anyway. This is what I find out after the war. And then they
How
put
long
us
did it take you to walk from Poland to Austria?
from Bonn to Austria. Days and days. But Auschwitz is not far from the border.
Right.
Oh, weeks we walked. Weeks. I don't remember the time because you lose
Track of time.
track of
So with
time.
no stop.
Yeah, we sat in that night. They didn't walk us at night.
'Cause they
At
don't want
night
people
we
to
sat
lose
in
people.
in the snow on
On the ground.
on the ground where we walked. This is the way we had to sit down. And then
how
when
did-
I come to this
That's
too,
right.
old wait
Yeah.
while I was saved,
Mhm.
and and then we and then we walked. And all of a sudden one day I couldn't walk anymore. And there was a little wagon which the men, the prisoners,
Mhm.
were pushing because the what do you call it? They had the pack sacks from the SS
Mhm.
on that wagon. His name was Yusek. He wasn't Jewish. That's all. That's why we went back to find him. My son wanted to pay them back,
Mhm.
but he couldn't. He couldn't find him.
Mhm.
And they took him into the. And they picked me up first and put me onto the pack sacks, and I was there a whole day, and then a whole night I was sitting.
Mhm.
So I got back the strength,
Yeah.
and the following day I could start. I could walk again. So this saved my life. Every time something happened,
Yeah.
People help.
this is what happened. I forgot in Auschwitz when I was there was a day when I couldn't stand Zellapel. So I thought that day they're gonna take me to the gas chambers. I have to go back because I forgot.
We didn't put any dressings inside because we didn't know.
No,
about
no dressing. That's good. Oh, it's terrific. Thank you.
No problem. Enjoy.
Thank you. What I do, I'll give a donation to them. Well, I come down to him anyway. I have to talk to him. When does he go home?
He's gonna be here till 5:30.
Oh, okay. I'll come down because I have to give him something for the kitchen.
Okay.
I want to give him if he can use it in the kitchen. That would we would do good business with that.
Okay.
With
Thank
something
you.
electric.
No problem. I'll be here.
Okay.
I'll close it. I'll close it. I'll close it, Chris. It's closed.
And then I have to go back, and I couldn't walk anymore. An Untersturmführer came, and he picked up hook and saw. So naturally, we all knew that the sewing barrack is right there. Was across the street from my barrack. So it was right there. I wouldn't have to walk so far. And sure enough, he picked out 30 people, and
You were one of them.
25 people, and I was one between them. So this saved my life in Auschwitz. So every time something happened, they were saved. And then in Austria, when they put us on a truck and they sent us to Mauthausen. Mauthausen was a camp just like Auschwitz. Gas chambers in a camp. But there was just men, there was no women's camp, so they couldn't keep us there. So they sent us from there to Lenzing, near Veklerbruck. This is all our Austria. And in Veklerbruck, they had 100 women working they lived in a broken up factory, which they were professionals, so they didn't take them to the gas chambers, they let them live there. They were professionals. They were working on machines making material. They were waving material on those machines. I saw those machines, how they looked. And we became the maids there, that they can work longer and more the things. They shouldn't have anything else to do. And we became maids there. And this was already from January till May. And in May, we heard the shooting, we heard the things, but we didn't know what it is. So one night, they brought in the food, and they ran away. The SS woman who watched us and the SS men, they ran away, so we left alone. And all of a sudden, what do you call it, a Frenchman which worked in the kitchen came to run and tell us, don't eat the food, it's poisoned. And we were hungry. We had to, the people which were stronger kept away the others, the weak things, not to go over because the people didn't believe it. They wanted to eat it because they were hungry. They had no food. So you can imagine that even the last day they ran away already. So they knew they lost the war, but they didn't want
They don't
us
want
to
you to
survive.
live.
Did people
Sure
die?
enough-
Did people eat the food?
Sure enough, 2 days later we were without food. May the 5th, the Americans came in, and you never saw soldiers in uniforms, in with guns, crying like babies, men like this, crying like babies because they saw living skeletons. I weighed 60 pounds because they put me on the scale. They took us in they brought down a doctors, and they built they built a
Infirmaries?
barrack to
Uh-huh.
make a hospital out of the barrack. They made a hospital with beds, and they took some of us they took us out from that broken up factory, and they put us in the SS barrack, which was living there.
Yeah.
And this is the way we survived. But those soldiers probably were hungry. Because everything they had, all the rations, they get.
Yeah.
Those things are annoying. The things.
The small baby hairs.
Yeah, they fold up, and this is the way we did. And then they changed us and we went to a DP camp.
Mm-hmm.
And from the DP camp, right away, the United Jewish Appeal,
Mhm.
the Joint Distribution Committee,
Mhm.
the third day after they came with trucks and they brought down food and they gave us packages.
Mm-hmm.
In every package they knew that we can exchange this for something good. For, in every package there was different things, but every package had a carton of cigarettes. And for that carton of cigarettes, we bought shoes. You know, they were so hungry, the Austrians, for things that we didn't have to go to the store. They came down to the camp with trucks of shoes. And we
Wow.
picked, so we got shoes already. And then the dress started to fall apart because I was 2 years in Auschwitz and I never had another dress.
Yeah.
Started to show the flesh, so I was ashamed, and I walked like that. And in my package was a big scarf, that color beige like this. The
Mhm. Like
Mm.
this.
no, like the package, yeah,
Uh-huh.
like a little light there, real beige, and and I got the idea that I'm gonna unravel and I know how to crochet.
Ah.
So I went over to a soldier and I asked him, to an American soldier, if I can ask him a favor. So he said, anything, you can ask me anything you want. So they were so nice to us. So I said, but what I need is something and I have no money. He said, don't worry, ask me. So I said to him, my flesh shows out and I have a sweater, a shawl, I can unravel the shawl and make
Dress.
a little sweater out of it
Mm.
and it's gonna cover my flesh here. So he said, of course. So this what you were afraid to ask me? He got angry at me. And the following morning, I got the needles. In the meantime, at night, I couldn't got excited. I couldn't sleep anymore.
Mhm.
So I unraveled and made a ball out of it. And I made myself that little sweater. When I came to America, when they built the museum in Washington,
Mhm.
I was on it. I was invited specially
Wow.
to the to the
Unveiling.
cornerstone
Uh-huh.
when they broke the cornerstone.
Wow.
But there was somebody, Birnbaum. He's a historian.
Mhm.
He asked me a lot of questions. He did a lot of for me in America. So so he did. So I was invited there. So I gave them that little sweater. I donated that little sweater. That little sweater is in the Washington. It's still
Really?
there in the museum. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that's what this. In the historian after the war, when I came to America, first of all, they said I have 4 birthdays.
For
I
birthdays.
have to celebrate 4 birthdays. One birthday, my birthday. The other birthday survived Auschwitz, survived the Death March because half of the people died on the thing. And then May 5th, when I was liberated.
Wow.
So I have to celebrate 4 months. And then they asked me some questions, and then I wrote a book, which they said has to be published.
Mhm.
And I didn't want to publish it. I didn't want to have anything to do with it. So then I don't know who sent the copy. Somebody from the UGA.
Mm.
Because I was active in the UGA right away when I came to America, by the United Jewish.
Yeah.
Because I thought I have to pay them back.
Mhm.
They the first ones came in with those packages, and since then I'm very active. I became big there. I became chairman of the Super Sunday where we used to make $4 million that day. I used to bus in all the boroughs. I used to get 200 telephones, and we set it up in the UGA on 59th Street.
Mm-hmm.
You know where the UGA is.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's why I really put my life in the UGA Federation. And then I started Matilda. And then I started Matilda, so I gave up. I gave up there. I wasn't the chairman. I said it's about time somebody else should use it. But I picked Hillel. I organized the students and we go up as a group. And then I show it to Rosgate as I brought down the Hillel, and then I ask him for favors to give more money to him.
You're amazing.
Yeah.
How did you get to America?
To America? I came from the DP camps,
How,
the
you came by
Hayas.
boat?
The Hayas.
By boat or by plane?
Oh, I came by boat.
By boat?
We schlepped. I came with the second transport to American 47 because I could not walk on the German soil. I wouldn't go down on the German soil because I had a lot of trouble. The what do you call it? They when they put us in the death march, then when men heard that there's women there in that DP camp, so a lot of men came. So I didn't want to pick anybody who grew up in Auschwitz. I wanted an older man,
Yeah.
a more thing. So I liked my husband because he became the Dolmetscher there. He spoke English. He was that big shot there, but he was 30 years older than I.
30 years older than you?
30 years older than
Oh.
I. And I asked him because every day, because people were so lonely, the people who didn't meet, there were 10, 20 weddings a day.
Wow.
Like on the my couple.
You got married
there
there?
were 11 people married that day, Friday. Yeah, in Austria.
In Austria.
In Innsbruck, in the mountains.
Mm.
Because they had a shochet already, and they had kosher food,
Mm-hmm.
and they had a rabbi to.
Was your
To
husband
marry.
married before or no?
Yeah, my husband was married before, and he had 2 children in the.
Did they survive?
No, nobody survived. Nobody survived from him either. And so he said, "You're too young for me." So I said to him, "But I went through. I'm 100 years old. Not too young for you." And anyway, it appealed to him, and we got married. So we went there. There were special cars. I forgot for what that group called themselves, which they went from one camp to the other to find out if we have left somebody.
How many
And
years were
that
you
took
married?
us 31 years, and I
31.
had the most. I wouldn't change it because my friend said, if anybody would want to you 31 years better than somebody else at 70. We made up our mind. We're not gonna fight. When we have a problem, we're gonna talk it out. And whoever could convince one the other, this is the way it was. Even my son says today, how can 2 people live and not have a fight ever? You know, children, you'll be surprised. They know a lot, but you think they don't know when they grow up in the house. They see more things than we can imagine.
Yeah.
And he had family here.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to go to Israel, and he wanted to go to America, which I didn't blame him. So we were in Salzburg.
Mm-hmm.
Salzburg was the Central Committee
Mm-hmm.
in the Haganah, where they came to help us from Israel,
Mhm.
Israel, the Haganah.
Right.
And then I said, when we have to, from all that thing, first I wanted to marry him so badly, then I said we have to part because I will not go any place but
Israel.
Israel, because I felt if Israel would have been Israel then, there maybe wouldn't be even a Holocaust, not just 6 million Jews wouldn't be killed.
Right.
We would have had a place where to run because England didn't let
Yeah,
us in. The
I
Jews
know.
came there, they sent them back.
I
They
know.
said, we're not going to go to the gas chambers, we're going to commit suicide. Right here, he said, go ahead, commit. 2 friends of my brothers committed suicide there in the front. If I wouldn't hide in the poles, in the woods like a goy, like a non-Jew, I would have had that letter, but I couldn't have anything Jewish. That letter would have been in America.
Mm-hmm.
They said because they wrote back a letter to them, we shouldn't
Yeah.
smuggle in because England doesn't let us in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I had that letter. They're committing suicide because they're not coming back to the gas chambers. They knew when they went there, they knew my father gave them the money to go there. And then he said, when we get a letter from you, then we go the same way. You write us exactly how you smuggle. Through Siberia, they smuggle.
Yeah.
And in we part. When we
You were
part,
married already?
what?
You were already married?
No, I
No?
waited. And then I came to the border with the Haganah,
Mm-hmm.
to the border of Israel. England didn't let us into to Israel, but they sent us to the what did they call that place?
Ellis Island?
Near Israel. They made it something with thing. Cyprus.
Oh, Cyprus. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And when I saw that the sending us in Cyprus was barbed wire, and I saw again barbed wires like Auschwitz, so I fainted.
Oh my God.
And I got very sick. I don't know. They brought me back. They took me in an ambulance and took me back to Salzburg.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they helped me, I was a day in the hospital, and then they brought me back to the Central Committee in Salzburg, where my husband helped them because he knew English.
Oh.
He worked there.
Oh, you worked there. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Well, no, worked for free, you know
No,
what I mean?
yeah, but he was there. He wasn't
Yeah,
moving to
yeah.
America yet. Uh-huh.
So when I came in and I went into the room with his office, and I told them, you see, it was Pashet, meant to be. It means in Jewish Pashet. And then we went to the mountains to Innsbruck because there was a rabbi and there was the thing from the Haganah, the thing and they took us in a jeep. The Americans took us in a jeep, yeah.
And you got married there?
And we got married there, and we had Sheva Broker Saturday. We married
nice.
11 couples married onto that chuppah.
It's amazing.
And you know, it's thing, but it's sad too. You know, there was one man and a woman, which they find each other, a husband and wife. So, you know, we were superstitious. So we picked them to give you away. You had no family. So they gave you away a person which you never seen before and you never seen her after. But this was a husband and wife, so they gave us away. And
Oh,
that's
that's
the
nice.
way it is. But then afterwards, I didn't want to wait with the second transport because I could not walk. So we had to go to Germany. I had a lot of trouble with the doctor. I even told my husband to go alone and I'll come after
Mm-hmm.
because something was wrong with me, with the health. You know, they examined you. They didn't let you come to America if
Until you were
weren't
healthy.
Oh, yeah. At Ellis Island.
So finally, we had to be 3 months there. They called it the Funkkaserne, the Golden Doors.
Mm-hmm.
This is where you've been there in Germany before you went to America when you were ready to go, when you had the papers already. And this is the way. Oh yeah, it's open already. And this is the way. I'm so glad I gave the money for the mezuzahs because you know, see they kissing the mezuzahs.
Of course.
And what do you call it? Where was I? Hawaii.
The Golden Gates.
Yeah, the Golden Gate. But but this was Germany. And I said I would not walk on German soil
Mm-hmm.
because it's blood. You're
Yeah.
walking on the Jewish blood.
Yeah.
So, so God helped me, and we got out. I didn't walk out on the streets in Germany, and we came, and they took us. And we came to America in 1940, in 1947 with the second transport.
Mhm.
So I came Erev Shavuot,
Mhm.
the day before the holiday Shavuot in the summer in June, and then they had already, his family had got us a furnished room in Avoca. When you walk to me, when you come from Coney Island Avenue, you go down to 10th Street
Mhm.
to pick me up. That corner
Yeah, I know.
building is Avoca.
I live a block away from you.
Yeah. That corner building, the Avoca, this is where I had a furnished room in Avoca. On the top floor, 4 floors I walked. And then when they built that building,
You moved.
so my husband took it from the thing. He had a job by his family,
Mhm.
and I went to work in a nursing home, and he went to school, and I went at night to school. I went on 7th Avenue,
Mm-hmm.
so I worked in a nursing home a whole day. At night I went to school.
In Manhattan or Brooklyn?
No, on 7th Avenue to an elementary school. There was a
They had
school on
classes?
7th Avenue, there were classes. Then when I graduated from there, I went to Erasmus High School, and I graduated from Erasmus High School.
Oh, it was
And then
special.
What?
Those were special classes for older people?
Yeah, at night.
Mhm,
Not just
mhm.
older, there were younger people too.
Oh.
Well, they
Did you go to school in Poland at all or no?
Yeah, but this didn't do me good. They didn't give me English. I was 12 years old.
Right, you were like in a
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like in the,
like
I don't
yeshiva
remember.
or like
I must have been in the 4th grade.
So
Um,
when the soldiers, the American soldiers came, how did you communicate with them? They spoke. Did they speak anything except English?
Some of them spoke Yiddish,
Yiddish.
so
That's
we
right.
always said that, but
Okay.
somebody there we could understand it.
Mhm.
And then from there I went to Kingsborough College, and I
Mhm.
graduated from Kingsborough College, and I'm an alumni from
Mhm.
Kingsborough College. I was just invited. They had something, a big
Mhm.
shebang. I even get a thing to that private beach, which is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, which just the people
Daisies.
with a thing can go.
Mhm.
It has a paper.
Mhm.
With a thing, so I get it every year from them.
That's
And I
nice.
send them a donation as an alumni, and that's it. So I made it up.
Thank you so much for telling
And
us
then
your
I
story.
became a registered nurse.
Oh.
From Kingsborough, I graduated as a registered nurse.
Mhm.
So I didn't work anymore in the nursing home. I went to the hospital. Where I helped there, there's a lot of Smith Street. There's
Mhm.
a lot of Polish.
New York Methodist?
I don't remember the thing. I have it someplace written down at home, but I know I remember it's a Polish neighborhood
Mhm.
because I helped there whoever didn't understood English.
Mhm.
It's until now it's a Polish neighborhood there.
Mhm.
Polacks live there.
Mhm.
So that's the story.
Thank you so
for your
much.
input.
Thank you. Very interesting.
It's too bad we should have started in the beginning. I would have liked
Yeah.
that.